This message is for all of the marginalized storytellers. So if you're Black, Indigenous, a person of color, queer, disabled, neurodivergent, like your girl over here, this is for you. Now, these times that we're in, this sense of like chaos, of unraveling of America, because that is what's happening, the anger you may be feeling, the fear, the heightened anxiety, the constantly being inundated with traumatic images on social media and the regular media, this can have an impact on us and on our creativity. So you may be a storyteller who's like, I have these stories that I want to write, but like, what is the point? This seems so useless. Like I should be doing more. And may feel like this is not where your energy needs to be because like story doesn't matter. You might be someone who's like, you feel inclined to write more and to tell more stories and to make an impact with your work, but you're just constantly caught under the anxiety of what's happening and it's making it hard for your creativity to go through. You also might be someone who's like, woo, I'm going to keep going because I know that my work has an impact. My voice needs to be out there, etc., etc. And you might be feeling good and moving forward. Wherever you are, what I want to share with you is a reminder that art has always had a role in revolution. It has always had a role in resistance. Art and story are very powerful, and they're very powerful when they come from marginalized groups, because the world and our society and our country are honestly, they're not built for us to thrive. They are built on our oppression. They are built on the systemic disenfranchisement of people like us. So when we are able to share our voices, to share our perspectives, we bring something new to the world. That's why Sinners made such a big impact on so many people. And that's why people felt so much when they watched it. Okay, so our art is very important, and it is very important in times like this. Times when fascism is rising, authoritarianism is rising, First Amendment rights they're on their way out the window, which means that our freedom of speech is something that they are trying to take away from us in this country. So our voices are really, really needed right now. And in resistance and in revolution movements, you have to remember that who holds the narrative holds the power. There's a very old saying, I don't even know who originally said it. I think it's like attributed to like Plato and some other old people from way back when. But that's how old that shit is. Who holds the narrative holds the power. That's why the media is misreporting so many things. That's why the language is very clever. That's why some things are not being reported at all. Some things are being misrepresented, because the narrative is very important to this administration. The media is very controlled, very propagandized. We're a propagandized people. That's why we can't even agree on the things that are happening. That is by design. So remember that narrative, if who holds the narrative holds the power, narrative is power. Story is power. Your voice is power. And the stories that you create, whether they are fiction or nonfiction, have power. So this is a time where I would encourage you to lean into your strengths, your art, your writing, your power of shaping story, and use that. Because story can help shape people's perspectives. It can help expand people's thoughts. It can help expand even what we think is possible, right? It expands imagination. We cannot have a better world if we cannot imagine a better world. And that is something that can come up in fiction, in nonfiction, in all kinds of different writing, in essays, in poetry, in all kinds of different ways. All right. So this is like it's just very fitting that I'm wearing this shirt, Octavia Butler, Parable of the Sower, which I also recently reread. Extremely relevant to this time and also scary accurate to what's happening. But Octavia had a power with words and with story and with imagining what could happen, what was going to happen, and what would happen if we didn't make changes. That's a lot of what like Parable of the Sower is, and Parable of the Talents, it's the second book. So think about how how important story is, narrative is to politics, to culture, to shaping policy, to all kinds of things that we live in, to how we relate to each other. Narrative about immigrants has got some people like immigrants bad instead of empire bad, capitalism bad, right? That's because narrative is power. So think about how narrative has been used to shape our society, has been used to shape the way you relate even to yourself, the way you relate to other people. And remember that story has power, that your voice has power as a marginalized person who needs to share more of your perspective, more of your views, more of your ideas with the world, because that is the thing that changes the world from being something that is oppressive and harmful and dangerous for people like us to being a world that is fit for our descendants. So remember that and lean into that as you are dealing with all of this. Now, it doesn't mean don't go do other things. It doesn't mean don't go march. I'm just saying, do not forget the power of your own storytelling and the power of your own voice to shape change, to ignite change, to inspire other people. There is so much power in your voice. So go ahead and use it.